Hey, Kennis Russell here, doing another video on how to get gear cheap or even free. And I've got a couple of really cool stories I wanted to share with you. The first one is about this amplifier here. I was on Craigslist, this is probably 2 years ago, and saw this amplifier. This is a Line 6 Flextone III with this pedal. This is a FBV expression pedal. Saw it on Craigslist along with a Line 6 Flextone II with an extra cabinet, all for $200. So let me just say that again. This amp, Line 6 Flextone III with the pedal, plus a Line 6 Flextone II and an extra cabinet. So I get 2 amps and a pedal and an extra cabinet for 200 bucks. So I called the guy up and I said, well, what's the deal? And he said, well, the reason why I'm selling it so cheap is the Flextone II has this thing where if it's on for like 4 or 5 hours, it kind of like, he described it as it farts. It like, when you play, it just kind of has like a sound to it, like the speaker doesn't work or something. And he said, but the deal is you have to play it for a really, really long time to get that to happen. I thought, well, all right, let me listen to it. So I played it, I could not get it to happen. We kept it on, I was at his house for about an hour, kept it on there the whole time, did not make the noise. So I figured I'm pretty good at technical stuff. If I can duplicate it and replicate the problem, I could probably fix it. It's probably just some sort of component inside and I could fix it. So I said, all right, it's a deal. I bought them both amps, the extra cabinet and the pedal for 200 bucks. Took it home. This one had nothing wrong with it whatsoever. He was just selling it as a package deal. And so that's my tip today, is to get the package deal, okay? That's gonna be a way that you can really make money on, or not make money, but get gear a lot cheaper. So I had the Flextone II and used it for about a year, never duplicated that problem, never had his farting problem with the amp. And so it was just a great amp for me, but I didn't need 2 of these guys sitting around my house. So I paid $200 for the whole lot, put it up on Craigslist for $175. Somebody called me within a couple days, came over, picked it up. I was totally honest with him. I said, listen, the guy I bought it from said there was some sort of like farting issue when it was played for 4 or 5 hours. Just wanted to be honest with you about that and let you know. And he said, okay, well, it sounds good now, so we're in good shape. Paid 175 bucks for it. I've still got this guy. I'm gonna probably sell this guy pretty soon. But even if I didn't sell this, I basically paid $25 for this whole setup. Now I totaled it all up. If you're to buy these new, I don't know what the original MSRP is of the Flextone amps because they're not making them anymore, but just even on the used market, kind of on the higher end, was for all of the gear, the cabinet, the 2 amps, the pedal, is over $800 worth of stuff. I bought for $200, sold for $175. So basically, I paid 25 bucks for this amp and this pedal. That's a really, really good deal. And then if I were to sell this amp, I made money. I literally had 2 amplifiers that I used for 2 years and made money if I sell this amplifier, which I probably will, honestly, because I don't use it that much, because I'm a little bit more of a tube amp guy and this is a solid state amp. My main point with everything is always have money to buy stuff with. A lot of times people they'll really want something, but they don't have the cash to buy it. When a deal like this presents itself, it's not gonna be available for a long time. It's gonna be sold fast. Those kind of deals, if I had not called and pulled the trigger on that, someone else would have called, I guarantee. And then probably in the next day, not been able to get this kind of deal. So have cash on hand and be patient. Don't feel like you have to do it right then and there. Be patient with your stuff. Go out there and wait, look on Craigslist, look on eBay, go shop around at some pawn shops if you have any decent pawn shops by you. And but when you see that deal, you got the cash to pay for it. But also the major tip that I'm gonna give you is to pair it up with something else. Because if you're pairing 2 things, you can sell one of them, and you can also sometimes be patient on that. I probably could have sold that Flextone II for over $200 if I'd have just said, price is firm. I guarantee that it would have sold for over $200. Pairing it up with something gives you that kind of like second chance to make some extra money. I'm gonna give you another example here of pairing something else. This is the story behind my Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. I had purchased the Hot Rod Deluxe on Craigslist originally for about $400. Now, you can find these in the stores usually for about $650 to $700 in that kind of price range at Guitar Center, that kind of thing. So I was getting a decent deal. Wasn't quite half off, but it was close enough to it that I was okay with it. 400 bucks. Well, a couple weeks after I purchased it, I saw another Fender Hot Rod Deluxe on Craigslist for $350. I had 350 bucks. I thought, you know what? I'll go ahead and buy it and I'll just sell mine, which one I like the best, and just sell that one on Craigslist for 400 bucks. Just kind of flip it, if you will. Turns out this is an original, the first year they made the Hot Rod Deluxe in 1996. And so I thought, you know, that's probably a little bit more of a collector's item, and it's a US made, whereas a lot of these are made in Mexico. I thought worst case scenario, I basically got $50 to upgrade to the first year this was made, okay? So while I was there, I asked the guy, do you have anything else you're wanting to sell? And he said, well, I've got a Butler tube driver that I could sell. And I didn't even know what that was. So he pulled up his computer and we just eBayed it, or it was at $100 with a couple days left in the auction. And he said, hey, I'll sell it to you for 50 bucks. You know, worst case scenario, you could turn around and sell this for at least $100 on eBay. So I said, all right. So I paid 400 bucks for the Butler Tube Screamer and this amplifier. So I take it home. So I decided I'm gonna keep this guy. I listed my other one on Craigslist for $425 and ended up taking $420 for it. So I made $70 on the deal already. Then went on eBay, and first of all, I plugged in the Butler tube driver and it sounds awesome. It was a stinking awesome pedal, and I really came close to just keeping it. I probably should have, but they were selling for a good amount on eBay. Put it up on eBay, did a week auction, ended up selling it for $218. Paid $50 for it, sold it for $218. So basically, right at about, by the time I paid for shipping and the eBay fees, it was right about 200 bucks. Okay, so I've basically made $70 off of the amp, selling that, you know, reselling that one, and then made an additional off of just the pedal, another $150 by the time I paid for the eBay fees and the shipping. So by the time everything was said and done, that deal, I made $220 to upgrade to this amplifier. So basically, you know, if I were to do the math on that, I would basically look at this and say, I bought this amplifier for $180. Now granted, that took me going to somebody's place and like looking at it and taking some time and some gas and that kind of thing. Not everybody has that kind of time to do that. Honestly, I probably don't have the time to do that either. But what I'm saying is there's some deals out there to be made if you pair stuff together. So just like this Flextone, paired it together, was able to sell half of it and basically cover the purchase of the whole thing. This thing too, I was able to sell, you know, one of the things that I purchased and was able to make up the difference about halfway. So anyway, that's my tip of the day on finding gear cheap and sometimes even free. Like this Flextone, I basically paid 25 bucks for it, which is pretty close to free. The tip is pair it with something else. Whenever you go buy something, say, do you have anything else to sell? Even if you're going to a music store and say you're buying a new guitar, and you say, hey, you know, this is $300 for this guitar. First of all, ask them, will they take any less? Chances are they'll probably take a little bit less, but probably a greater chance is if you say, well, what other things can you throw in? What if I buy this also? If you're buying a new guitar, they don't really have a whole lot of play. They can move in those price range. They're not gonna sell a $300 guitar for $150. But if you say, hey, you throw in a couple extra strings, maybe a guitar strap, that kind of thing, you can get some free add-ons that their overhead is a lot less on, and you can add some more benefit there. But anyway, pairing it up with other things, that's the tip of the day for how to get gear cheap and maybe even free. Anyway, Kennis Russell here. Hopefully you like this kind of content. If you do, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching.